Performing operations in scientific notation. So I know you have a little bit background about what is scientific notation. So let's define first what is scientific notation. So scientific notation is a way of expressing numbers that are too large or too small to be conveniently written in decimal form. So this is the example of scientific notation. So here is the 45,000 convert into scientific notation. It will become 4.5 times 10 to the power of 4, wherein the decimal was moved by 4. And then the other one is 7.6 times 10 to the power of 4. We'll translate them into a standard form. So it will become a 0.00076. So the structures of scientific notation is written as follows. So here, the 4,500,000 is equal to 4.5 times 10 to the power of 6. This 4.5 is the coefficient, and the 10 is the base, and the 6 is the exponent. The same as in 0.00453, the 4.53 is the coefficient, and the base is 10, the exponent is negative 3. So there are rules in scientific notation, but we'll begin first in addition. So rule 1, you cannot add directly the base numbers when the powers of the two addends are not similar. So we cannot add directly if their exponent is not the same. So rules number 2, if the powers are not similar, move the decimal place either going to the right or left. Upon moving, will increase the exponent and kung pila ka decimal atong gi-move. When moving the decimal place going to the right, the sign of the power is negative. When the movement of the decimal is going to the left, the sign of the power is positive. So again, when the movement of decimal place going to the right, the sign of the power is negative. Then when the movement of the decimal is going to the left, the sign of the power is positive. So rule 3, when the powers of the two addends are the same, directly copy the base and exponent. Then, i-add na diretso ang coefficients. So there are sample problems in addition. So 4 times 10 to the power of 3 plus 2 times 10 to the power of 3. So we've noticed that they have the same exponent. So we'll just add the coefficient 4 and 2, then copy the power of 10, which is 10 to the power of 3. Then it yields an answer 6 times 10 to the power of 3. Or we have another method in solving scientific notation. We'll transfer the scientific notation into standard form. Then if we have now the answer standard form, we'll convert it back to scientific notation. Like this, 4 times 10 to the power of 3, it will become 4,000. And 2 times 10 to the power of 3 is 2,000. Then it has total of 6,000. Then i-move ang decimal into 1 unit, 1 number in front. So 6 times 10 to the power of 3 is 2.34 times 10 to the power of 6 plus 5.89 times 10 to the power of 8. So we've noticed here that they have different exponent. So ang isa kay 6, ang isa kay 8. So in order to proceed addition, ato siyang parihaon og exponent. Kani siyang 6, adan siya nato og 2 to make it 8. Then move ang decimal into 2 kay 2 ang atong gi-add. May mo siyang 0.0234 times 10 to the power of 8. Then 5.89 hundredths times 10 to the power of 8. Ito siyang i-convert into i-transfer sa to vertical form para dali siya ma-add. Then mo na siya yung answer 5.9134 times 10 to the power of 8. So in the other method, i-transfer niya ang scientific notation into standard form, then ibalik ra gyapon siya into scientific notation. Try to solve this following. You can pause the video and answer it afterwards. This problem has the same exponent, so we'll just add the coefficient and copy the power of 10. So since it is an what we call this improper scientific notation, kung over siya og 10, because in scientific notation it must be more than 1, the coefficient must be more than 1 but less than 10. So kung siyang decimal na diri is 10, i-move na to siya diri into 1. So mahimo siyang 1.0 times 10. Then ato mang gi-move ang decimal, will add 1 to the exponent. Okay. Next is rules in scientific notation and subtraction. Rule 1. The subtraction operation of scientific notation has a similar rule to addition. What makes difference as you need to mentally change the sign of subtrahend and proceed to addition. Rule 2. The sign follows the same rule of addition, just like when the signs are alike, then copy the sign, and with alike signs, then subtract and bring the sign of the bigger value. So sample problems in subtraction. 9 times 10 to the power of 3 minus 5 times 10 to the power of 3. So they have the same exponent, so we'll just subtract the coefficient 9 times 9 and 5. So 4. Then copy the exponent 10 to the power of 3. So the answer is 4 times 10 to the power of 3. So another problem is they have different exponent. So in order to solve it, we'll add 2 here in the 5. So pwede siya decrease ning 7 og 2. But ano na lang tama sa 5. 4.5 times 10 7. We forgot, we'll move also the decimal place into 2, kay 2 ang atong gi-add sa exponent. So next, so isubtract na siya ang coefficient 4.5 minus 0.093. The answer is 4.407 millionths times 10 to the power of 7. Okay, try to solve this following scientific notation is. So 12 times 10 to the power of 4 minus 4 times 10 to the power of 5. So they have different exponent. So we'll increase the exponent 4 into 5 plus 1 siya. Then also move the decimal. 1.2 times 10 to the power of 5 minus 4 times 10 to the power of 5 na siya. So they have already the same exponent. So ito siyang isubtract. Ang coefficient 1.2 minus 4 equals 2.8. Then copy the power of 10 equals negative 2.8 times 10 to the power of 5. Let's proceed to multiplication. In multiplication, multiply the coefficient, then add the exponent whether they are not the same number of exponents. In multiplying, the powers of 10 or the exponent will add. So the sample problems in multiplication. 4 times 10 to the power of 4 multiplied by 2 times 10 to the power of 3. So we'll multiply the coefficient 4 and 2. Then you have the answer 4 times 2 equals 8, which is the coefficient, right? It is the coefficient. Next is the exponent. 10 to the power of 4 plus 3 equals 10 to the power of 7. So that is the powers of 10. So the answer is 8 times 10 to the power of 7 times 10 to the power of 6 multiplied by 40 times 10 to the power of 5. Multiply siya ang 30 times 40 times 10, then 6 plus 5, which is the exponent. Then, ato siyang i-expand. Kani siyang 30, it will become 3 times 10, then exponent 1. Then kani siyang 40, it will become 4 times 10 exponent 1. Muna siya. Since it is already the coefficient, another coefficient na sa ni siyang kaning 3 and 4. No? Muna siya. Then ang exponent na nilang 10, nini 3 times 10 o ni 4 times 10 is 2. Mo siyang itipo na siya to 3.4 times 10 to the power of 2. Next is 3 times 4 equals 12. Then ang mga exponent i-add siya. So the answer is 12 times 10, 13. So we can't have 12 because it is more than 10. So we'll move the decimal from the left na side, and it will become 1.2 times 10 to the power of 14. Okay, try to solve this following. You can pause the video and check the answer. Okay, 8 times 10 to the power of 5 multiplied by 7 times 10 to the power of 6. So, multiply the coefficient, 8 times 7, then times 10, then add the exponent 5 plus 6. So the answer is 56 times 10 to the power of 11. Since we can't have also a 56 because it is more than 10, move the decimal to the left. Kani siya diri sa 56, move siya diri. May mo siyang 5.6, then na siya exponent nga 1. So it will become a 5.6 times 10 to the power of 12. Okay, division. In division, divide the coefficient, then subtract the exponent. Our sample problems in division. 18 times 10 to the power of 7 divided by 6 times 10 to the power of 3. So we've noticed here that this is the coefficient, 18 and 6. So, divide na to siya ang 18 and 6, it will become 3. The answer is 3. Then the exponent, 10, subtract na to ang 7 to 3, to the 3. Then it will become 3 times 10 to the power of 4. Another example, 144 times 10 to the power of negative 8 divided by 9 times 10 to the power of negative 3. So, when we divide 144 and 9, the answer is 16. Then, the exponent 10, negative 8, minus negative 3. So, it will become positive na ni siya. So, 16 times 10 to the power of negative 8 plus 3. Then the answer is 16 times 10 to the power of negative 5. Again, we can't have 16. Then, move ang decimal to the left. So, it will become 1.6 times 10. And also, ang exponent niyang 1 will add also the exponent 1. It will become a negative 4 power. So, we'll have a total answer of 1.6 times 10 to the power of negative 4. Okay, try to solve this following. 63 times 10 to the power of negative 5 divided by 9 times 10 to the power of negative 9. So, the coefficient is 63 and 9. So, ito siyang is-solve. The answer is 7. Then, the exponent is negative 5 minus negative 9. So, it will become positive. It will become positive na here in between. So, 7 times 10 negative to the power of negative 5 plus 9 equals 7 times 10 to the power of 4. So we can also transfer it into standard form, it is 70,000. So that is all about and performing scientific notation.